In the heart of Montreal, where the ghosts of the Forum still whisper through the rafters of memory, hockey is more than a game. It is identity. It is history. It is blood. And in the autumn of 2025, a new chapter has begun to write itself, one that feels both familiar and entirely unprecedented. The story starts not with a Stanley Cup parade, but with a vote, a fan-driven verdict. The people of Montreal, carrying the weight of generations of triumph and torment, crown a new prince of the Canadiens' future, Ivan Demidov. Ranked number 1 in the organization's annual prospect poll, the young Russian forward has not only captured headlines, he's captured imagination. And then came the debut. A debut that read like fiction. In his very first period wearing the Canadiens' fabled jersey, Demidov did not hesitate. He scored. He assisted. He announced himself to the Bell Center faithful with the kind of brilliance reserved for the rarest of arrivals. The kind that makes even the most cautious observer wonder if destiny has chosen its next protagonist. But here's the truth. Montreal knows better than to get carried away. This is a city that has watched countless next ones buckle under the pressure of carrying a dynasty's shadow. And while Demidov's star power is undeniable, the harsh reality is clear. Until the Canadiens secure a true second-line center, his path to consistent production will be riddled with obstacles. He cannot carry this renaissance alone. That's where Nick Suzuki enters the frame. At 26 years old, the captain has grown from a promising rookie into the stabilizing heartbeat of this team. Listed as one of the NHL's top 10 centers by league analysts, Suzuki is no longer a rising star. He is a star. His game, understated but relentless, has ascended season by season since his 2019 debut. He does not overwhelm with flash. He dismantles with intelligence. For a franchise desperate for leadership, Suzuki has become both compass and engine. And so, Demidov's rise and Suzuki's establishment weave into a larger story, the slow, grinding resurrection of the Montreal Canadiens. The dynasty has not been forgotten. It has been waiting, dormant, for players who understand both the burden and the privilege of carrying the crest. But the Canadiens' revival is not confined to the forwards. On defense, the narrative sharpens. David Reinbacher, drafted with promise but tested by adversity, was named the number 2 prospect in the same poll that elevated Demidov. His development has been far from smooth. A rocky stint in Switzerland. Injuries that cast doubt on his long-term mobility. The kind of setbacks that can derail even the most talented. And yet, Reinbacher has returned. His skating, once questioned, is now restored. The Canadiens are not rushing him, and that may be the greatest gift they can give. Because patience, though rare in Montreal, might just be the key to unlocking his true potential. And then, there is Lane Hutson, the smallest player on the ice, yet perhaps the largest in the hearts of fans. It is telling that Patrick Lane, a sniper who has seen nearly everything the NHL can throw at him, shares the same admiration as thousands of Canadiens faithful. Hutson is their favorite. Why? Because he embodies the joy of the game, his creativity, his boldness, his refusal to shrink against bigger opponents. In Hutson, fans see possibility. They see defiance. They see a reminder that hockey is not just measured in inches or pounds, but in courage. Put these threads together, and what emerges is not a single savior, but a tapestry of hope. A captain in Suzuki, steady and proven. A phenomenon Demidov, electric and raw. A resilient defender in Reinbacher, climbing back toward the light. A magician in Hutson, defying expectation at every turn. The Canadiens are not yet contenders. But for the first time in years, the foundation feels less like a gamble and more like a promise. Yet, here is where caution must temper excitement. Montreal has seen prospect hype before. Names that were supposed to restore the dynasty. Names that vanished into the unforgiving grind of the NHL. The difference now lies not only in talent, but in structure. The Canadiens' rebuild has been painful, deliberate, and unrelenting. Mistakes have been made. But lessons, too, have been learned. And the presence of multiple high-level prospects, rather than a lone savior, suggests that this time may be different. Still, nothing in Montreal comes without pressure. Every shift, every touch of the puck, every stumble will be magnified under the blinding lights of expectation. Demidov's spectacular debut has only heightened that reality. Fans will want more. They will demand more. And he will have to find a way to deliver without being consumed by it. This is the paradox of Montreal. The very passion that makes playing for the Canadiens a dream can just as quickly turn it into a crucible. Heroes are immortalized. Failures are never forgiven. To wear the jersey is to inherit both glory and ghosts. And so, we ask, will Ivan Demidov rise to meet the storm? Can Nick Suzuki's steady leadership provide the balance required for his young teammate to thrive? Will David Reinbacher's resilience translate into the stalwart presence Montreal desperately needs on its blue line? And can Lane Hutson's artistry remain unshaken when the spotlight grows hotter? The answers will not come overnight. They will be written in the grind of regular season battles, in the quiet determination of practices far from the cameras, in the resilience shown after inevitable setbacks. But make no mistake, the Canadiens' future is no longer an abstract vision. It is here. It is forming. It is skating onto the ice each night under the red, white, and blue. The dynasty may still be distant. The cup may still feel far away. But for the first time in a long time, Montreal fans can see the outline of something real. Not a mirage, not a fleeting spark. Something building. Something worth waiting for. And when the history of this era is written, perhaps we will look back on a single period, a single dazzling debut by a young Russian forward, as the moment the tide truly began to turn. Because sometimes, in a city built on legends, it takes just one spark to reignite the fire. So now, the question becomes yours. Is this the dawn of Montreal's next great era, or just another flicker in the shadows of what once was? What do you believe?